Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see behind me, we have made a lot of progress since the last video. So we're going to take a little bit of a break because winter is here. As you can see behind me, we have some snow. We've had several different snowstorms come through. Not a ton of bad weather, but we had some pretty cold weather for a week. And so we had to get the RVs winterized so that we don't have any issues with the cold, and because we do have water in them, so we had to do some insulating around underneath and make sure that our water wasn't going to freeze. So we had a little bit of a delay because of that, but we've made some really good progress. We have the wall sheathing on the exterior is all done. Right now they're just finishing up a couple last touches on the roof, and then the roof will be all done and taped, which is good because we don't want any moisture getting in from the roof, and that's kind of where most of the moisture comes when it rains or snows. So to have that covered and taped up is going to be really good. So as soon as we finish those little cleanup items, we also, as you can see to my left here, we took down our temporary laundry space and built the little utility room that's going there, and that's going to be where we have like the water heater and access to the crawl space underneath the house. So it's just kind of an exterior little utility room. So we've got that built already, and we've got some touch-up things to do, some kind of cleanup items throughout the house, and then we can do our next inspection. And then as soon as that passes, we can work on getting the rough-in plumbing and electrical and get the wall sheathing all taped up and start installing the exterior windows and doors. So we have a little bit of way to go before we're totally dried in, but we are making some good progress. We're almost there. So as you can hear behind me, they're working on those last few items on the roof and getting that finished up so that it's all weather tight up there, and then we can order the metal roof that's going to go on top of that, and hopefully in the next few weeks the goal is to be all dried in and ready to start getting the HVAC installed so we can have some heat, and then we can be working inside in the heat during the winter. So that's our goal. I'll go ahead and show you some of the progress. Okay, so I'll give you kind of a walk around of the update since last video. So as you can see, we've got the wall sheathing in, but like I said, we do have some cleanup items. So you can see this board that runs across here. So that is the nailer plate for the back patio. So we were in a hurry and missed that section right there. So we have to go and cut out that section and put in the nailer plate on that section of the cantilever and get that installed. So that's kind of one of the cleanup items we're looking at. You can see the edges of the sheathing around the windows. We'll have to cut those out when we're ready to install the flashing and tape around the windows. So we've got that on several windows, like the bottom of that window, as well as some over there as well. So that's kind of around the house, little cleanup items that we have to do before the next inspection is done. But right now they're up on the roof finishing up little cleanup stuff, like there's they have to cut off the ends of these boards up here and install the fascia board that will nail the fascia too. So that's what they're working on right now. And then, we've got a couple spots where we were just trying our best to get everything on before the snow came, and so there's a few clean up things, like we have a little section here that we need to fill in, section here that we need to fill in, but that utility room that I was telling you about. So it'll have a door here. It has its own little roof. So we've got that on. We had to build the floor and everything for it, and there's the access to the crawl space. There's going to be some steps going down in there. So we had to move our power hookups for the RVs. But so, one of the reasons that we can't tape the wall sheathing yet and get it totally watertight is because one of the things that the inspector has to come and inspect is make sure that these nails aren't sunk. So if they sink too far into the sheathing, they don't hold structurally what they're supposed to. And so there's places where he just wants to inspect and make sure that those nails are in correctly and we have the right number and location for all of our nails that go into the sheathing so that it's installed correctly. So once we get the inspection approval, then we can tape these seams and make them watertight. So just kind of coming around the building here. We've got, this side was the last side that we did. So as you can see in this top right corner, it's a bunch of little pieces. So we used up pretty much all of our sheathing. There's a few scrap pieces that we'll have once we cut off like that end piece here, and at the window openings and such, we'll have a few scrap pieces that we need to, that we can fill in with, but we were very efficient with our sheathing and used up all of it that we had. So that's why in that area we're going to have to use some extra taping since there's a few more seams because they're smaller pieces that we had to use to fill those. So coming around to the front here, this was kind of our first side done with the wall sheathing and such. So this side is in pretty great shape and pretty much ready for our next inspection. Like we've got all the fascia board on the roof in those areas as well. So this side's looking pretty good. As you can see, if you've been following along since the early videos, this was our giant pile of trash from the demo, and that's all that's left. So we are making some good progress there as well, just slowly whittling away on that every week. But it's exciting to see the project coming along, and it'll be really nice when we get all dried in and don't have to worry about the weather or the cold. So as you can see, there's my dad up there on the top right, working on those last touch-ups on the roof along with my husband Cam. So we're getting there, but it was good to see that, before the snow came, we had the roof taped up and it worked. So that was exciting to see, as the snow melted, it ran off the roof and didn't come in to the house. So that means it is doing its job. So that's good news, that the system is working and that we did our taping well. So we just got to keep doing that for the walls as well. Thankfully, when it did snow and such, we really didn't get much moisture at all on the walls. So that wasn't really something we were too worried about, getting too much weather in through the wall sheathing. So as you can see, we've got the boom truck and the platform up there. It's been really helpful, especially with the roof and all the wall sheathing. We've been able to get to all these tall locations on the wall, so that's good. And they're putting on that fascia board there. Looks like they're almost done in that section. Just a few more things, and then we can move on to our cleanup items before the inspection, and we also have the back patio to build, but that should go fairly quickly. We just have 4 columns, a beam, and then a bunch of 2x8 roof joists for that patio. So hopefully that one will move. quickly. But don't forget to like, subscribe, stay tuned to the channel, and see our updates as we continue with our DIY home build.